Okay, we're going to start July 1938. So, the Germans here are going to build 6 tanks, a mech, and an artillery for Lend-Lease to the Spanish. All right. Now we got Germany down here, and we're not going to really move too much. All right, perfect. You can see pretty much everything. I'm trying out a different camera stand here, see if that works out. The only real thing I was planning on doing was putting a combat air patrol for this seaplane over here in this sea zone, just in case somebody decides to float a sub in here. Doesn't really look like the British is planning on doing that, but you never know. Yeah. Other than that, I'm more or less happy with everything that's going on in here. What do we got? We got 5 infantry there. Let's chip that out so we can see what the heck we got there. So that's 5. All right. More or less happy with what I got going on here. So that should work. Yeah. So I'm pretty okay with the situation here. I was going to place my tanks separately in 2 different piles, but what I've decided to do is put 5 tanks in one location. And then 1 tank and a mech in the other location. I was originally going to spread them out a little bit more, but there we go. So it's getting a little bit busier in here, which is good for Germany. Not so good for everybody on the borders, but good for Germany. So we're going to do a tech roll, and we got that Spanish Lend-Lease to drop off. That cost us $46, and Germany's going to collect 24. I know this is not exciting, but I want to make sure I get it done right here. So they have 24 for next turn. Maybe they'll build a bunch of mechs, or maybe some more tanks. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can't do that tech roll. Let's see how this stand works here. I'm just trying to move that around a little bit. Oh, that's so much nicer for the tech rolls anyway. So German tech roll, jet aircraft, if they get an 8, they get it complete. Nice. They got a 12. All right. So Germans have completed jet aircraft. They're available for them to build in the future here. All right. That is basically the German turn. We do have one. Let's move on over to here. One more thing to do in Spain. Oh yeah, that's kind of a little bit nicer here. You can actually see the whole field of view. Helps having that wide angle lens too. So I have the option, I can attack something either in mountains or not in mountains. I'm going to attack the place not in mountains. And what I'm going to attack that with is a single infantry, an artillery, and the fighter. And let's just grab a dude there and take a chip off. All right. So let's see if we can't get some action going on there. I know I had a spot in here that it was working. There we go. Okay, so we're doing that little fight over there. So we got it's not mountain at all on the other side of the border. There's no river, so we don't have to worry about any penalties. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a fighter, an orange, and these 2 blue ones here will make our infantry and artillery at 3. So let's do the artillery first strike first. Miss. All right. Fighter in orange and an infantry at 3. 2 hits, that's all we needed, so they're eliminated. Now let's see if we can't get that one infantry from the Russians back. Nope, it's 11, so that's a miss. So there we go, we've eliminated that. Now we have a chance to fly the plane back home, land the Lend-Lease over here, and let's do a recruitment roll for these guys. So recruitment roll is 2, because they got 2 locations with their roundel in mainland Spain. Like this place doesn't count, this place over here doesn't count. I can't even see that really, can you? Yeah, you kind of can. Yeah, so it's got to be on the mainland in the main country there. So I need a 2 or less. Sweet, we got a 1. And that gives us the option of an infantry or 2 militia. Militia can't move or attack, so we're going to throw an extra chip down there. So there we go. So 3 infantry, fighter, artillery, light tank, along with a infantry and an artillery down there. All right, that would be the German turn in completion. They've collected their money, they've placed their units, they've done their Lend-Lease and all that assorted junk. So now we're done with that. I'm going to stop it here. We'll do the Russian turn. July 38, Russia, turn 5. We're going to build 4 infantry for 12. And we're going to do a tech roll for 2. Have no luck with the tech roll so far, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. All right. I may or may not do some combat moves. Technically, the combat moves of CCP in yellow with this roundel here, and the combat moves over here all happen at the same time. And then all the non-combat moves happen at the same time and whatnot. I don't think Russia really wants to spend much more money here, so they're going to leave that alone. Let's do some combat moves on this side, because I have a feeling that would be beneficial for, let's zoom that in a little bit. There we go. Be a little beneficial for these CCP guys to take out some of these Japanese units while they have a chance. Now, the most effective thing I can do, anything on the coast is going to get bombarded again. And we have the option of bringing along those aircraft right there, because they move on the same turn. So Russia is going to decide to fly its own aircraft inside China, as though it's a Lend-Lease, but it's still going to be Russian controlled, and so it can leave Russia at Russia's will. So there's no limit on how many. All it means is that Russia's going to lose access to those aircraft. So let's do a combat move into this location here, Shanxi. It's only worth 1, but that's where the biggest concentration of units happens to be. So I would say let's bring the cavalry in, and let's bring these mountain troops in, because they don't take a penalty. So that's 4 mountain troops of cavalry, and Russia's going to fly in 2 fighters and a tactical. And all this stuff is defending in mountains, but none of it's mountain, so it doesn't get a bonus on defense, but there's a negative penalty on the first, on all rounds of combat, because it's not a border, it's a mountain territory. So this cavalry is going to be rolling at a 2 in attack, and these mountain infantry are also going to be rolling at a 2 in attack. And just to spice up life a little bit, let's throw these two regular infantry in there, because all we really want to do is kill all those units as fast as we can. And the nice thing is the CCP does not run away like the KMT, so that'll be a nice change. All right, so that's my combat move. Now, let's do some non-combat or some combat rolling. And I got this handy little thing here. So the Russians are going to attack with 2 infantry at 1. Nothing. The Russians are going to attack with 4 mountain infantry and a cavalry, all at 2. And that's 1 hit. Then they're going to bring in 2 fighters at 6. No, so another hit. And then a tactical at 7. Target select 1 to 3. Sweet. So target selection. There we go. So that's 3 hits total, 1 selected. Now, if I was going to be Japan, I would probably take the cavalry and an infantry off. And I'm going to target select the light tank. So these are the casualties here. Let's put them in Mongolia. That way we know that they're casualties. Now, all this stuff gets to roll back. So let's see what happens here. All right, so there we go. So we've got 5 infantry at 4. 1 hit. We've got 1 light tank at 3. And we've got 1 cavalry at 2. Nothing. So 1 hit. So we'll lose the cavalry here. All right. So that's the cavalry down. Let's do round 2. Round 2, we've got 4 mountain infantry at 2. 1 hit. We've got 2 infantry at 1. No hits. We've got 2 fighters. That's at 6, so that's a 2nd hit. And 1 tactical at 7. That's a miss. So only 2 hits this time. So we're just going to switch that 3 for a 1. There we go. And yeah, 3 for a 1. And now we're going to roll 4 infantry back. You probably don't even care to see it. There you go. I just rolled 4 infantry at 4. No hits. All right. So now 4 mountain infantry at 2. 1 hit. 2 infantry at 1. Nothing. We're going to do 2 fighters and the tactical's orange with the target select. So 2 at 3. No, I only needed 2 hits, or 2 at 6, sorry. And this one was a miss. So there we go. We've wiped out the Japanese. Now, let's get one of these things and throw it on there. Let's see if we keep all these units or if we lose some of them. So, what do we have for units here? What's going to happen? We're going to have We're 2 infantry at 4. And the Japanese got no hits back. So there we go. That's done. That's our combats complete. Time for some non-combat moves. Let's move these guys in there. And these guys have to land somewhere. They've moved 1, 2, 3, not from an airbase. They only have one move left. So let's throw them in. Ooh. Yeah, let's throw them in Communist China there. 2 fighters and a tactical. It's a juicy target, but you're going to have to send all their air in there. And then leave it juicy for me next time, I think. Anyway, so as of this time, I cannot attack Jahal here because I don't own all of China. One side has to win the Civil War before they can leave. All right, so that's that. Let's get that out of the way, and we're going to move over to this side here. I'm going to zoom back out again. We're going to do a little bit of a non-combat move with the Russians. Next turn, they can start attacking things. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 destroyers, a sub, and a cruiser, along with a transport with 2 infantry on it, this guy and that guy. They're going to go 1, 2, and 3. We'll throw these 2 infantry on there. And we can move this Navy 1, 2, and have it all combined. So there we go. We've got a hefty Russian Navy with 2 guys on the transports in the Med. We'll see what happens there. So there are 3 destroyers, 1, 2, 3, 2 subs, and 2 cruisers, and a transport. All right. That's that really on this side for the what's going on. There we go. These Russians here are going to throw this plane on combat air patrol as well. Right here. And this sub here has a move of 1, but it's in a base, so 1, 2. There we go. All right, that's it for the Russians on that side. These guys are just going to do a recruitment roll. As you can see, they own 4 locations. So they're just going to roll for a 1, 2, 3, 4 or less. These guys also have a recruitment roll. And they have 4 locations, so they're going to roll a 4 or less. And I have one more movement to make, which is on this side here. We're going to move this guy 1, 2, 3, and 4 from a base up here. Yep. And we'll just consolidate. That was already there. All right, so that's that. Time to start placing some units. If you got some comments about whether you like the other camera angle better or not, because this one's pretty high up. We're going to go this way. And I built that mountain infantry. So we're going to put that in here as well. There's all those aircraft. So 1 mountain infantry. And then these guys are all casualties. Let's get them off the map before I forget the turn. Alright, casualties on the battle board there. So that's the placement there. We're going to place 4 infantry on here. I'm just going to not use that guy. We're going to do 1 chip there, 1 chip there, 1 chip there, and we'll throw 1 more chip here. Thing I learned in the past, never leave your capital undefended. Always have at least 3 or 4 guys, because an airborne dropping into your capital with nothing in it, or just the militia is brutal. Way to lose all your money for next turn. All right, so recruitment rolls. All right, we're gonna do CCP a 4. They have 4 locations. Sweet, CCP is gonna like that. We're gonna give 1 extra infantry then in their home base, where the aircraft are. So they have 5 infantry in a mountain built, 2 fighters in a tactical, and then they have 4 mountains and 2 regular infantry in this one, and the militia is still down there. All right, I haven't changed the income tracker yet, and now let's see if the Spanish can duplicate that. They need a 4 or less, and they fail. All right, and Russia hasn't done its tech roll yet either, has it? So let's try this again. Advanced artillery. Oh, I'm going to call that a no-go. Let's do it again. 7. Perfect. Russia needed a 7 or greater, so Russia now has its first tech. 5 turns in. KMT have moved up $1. Japan has moved down $1. This is what happens if Japan is not aggressive enough, and yeah, doesn't just keep pumping the units out, because China's going to keep doing this all the time, all day. All right, so that is the Russian turn. I will take the money out, collect it all, and we'll see you for Japan. July 38, Japanese turn. Japan, tech roll, 3 light tanks, 2 elite marines. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't be buying elite marines, because I could buy 1 extra infantry and save $1, or an extra light tank if I bought regular infantry, or even just regular marines, but they're too handy to say no to. And my kid is freaking out over something, which is kind of annoying, but at least my door's shut. So yes, the life of someone who has to share his house. All right, so I'm not sure what I'm doing now, because this is brutal, and I'm playing this as though I'm each person. And when I was the Chinese, I went for the throat and took out a big stack here. So, and thankfully kept most of my guys. Unfortunately, now that I'm playing as Japan, it's a bit daunting. We're attacking into mountains. If we attack in there, I'm probably going to lose a stack of elite marines. I've been cut off from that spot and that spot. But first things first, I'm going to take 1 destroyer with 1 of these infantry, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to land on this island. Because I should have done that a long time ago. There we go. So that's 1. Let's leave it upside down, so I remember to add it up. Now what else do you do here? Shoot. I kind of want to take some of this stuff away from the Chinese, because these are both worth $2 each. There's a fairly substantial stack of infantry that can counterattack me. And this can counterattack me there too. This is very vulnerable right now. So we're going to attack. You know what? We're going to take these 4 elite marines on 2 transports. And we're going to amphibiously assault right there. And we're going to bring in 2 battleships. Oh, sorry, 3 battleships and a cruiser. And we don't need these destroyers in there, so we'll just move them out of the way. 2 battleships and a cruiser for the for that assault. And we're also going to bring in these aircraft that we have here. And I can't reach anything else, so that's, these guys got scooped. So now I have, let's get that separated there. Let's put a sculpt on that. So that's my other combat move. And then the rest is non-combat. So, but I'm just getting these so you can tell the difference here. Alright, so 2 fighters, a tactical. You know what? Let's throw in an extra tactical. And 2 tacticals, 2 fighters. 4 elite marines at, let's give them 3 tacticals. Why not? 3 tacticals and 4 fighters. Why not? And I can't remember if this is a combat move or non-combat move, but we're going to put Combat Air Patrol seaplane in this sea zone here to protect that fleet a little bit in case they get aerial assaulted from that. It's not likely, but I'm paranoid now. Alright, and we're going to move in this light tank. We'll just leave those motorized in the infantry along with the train there in the city. Alright, so let's do that assault here and see what happens. I'm not even going to really show this too much. I'm going to roll with 3 tacticals against 3 infantry. Oh no, bombardment happens first. 3 battleships and a cruiser. I will show that. To my knowledge, bombardment's the first strike, if my memory serves me correctly. If not, let me know. 1 battleship hit at 4, and the cruiser missed at 2. So there we go, 1 bombardment. Now we got 3 tacticals, so we got 1 hit already. 3 tacticals at 7. There we got 2 more hits. Done. And let's assume that was the first strike. We got 1 hit back. And if it wasn't, we got 2 hits back. I don't know. I think it's first strike. Correct me if I'm wrong at the end of the video and I can take an extra guy off. I got 1 Japanese casualty. If, I don't know how I got a British militia way up here. Who knows? Alright, so I got 1 Japanese casualty, and it has to be on the amphibious assault. So we're going to change these 4 Marines into 3 Marines. Thankfully they're Marines, so they only took single casualties. We're now going to take all these aircraft and bring them back to this airbase so they can scramble along with the carriers and whatnot. I'm going to have to get a task force marker in there. These 2 transports and the 3rd transport. I'm going to take the light tank and these 4 infantry to here. No, you know what? We're going to put them over here. Although the city's not surrounded and can't be because they can't. We're going to put them in the city so they get the defensive bonus just in case the KMT does something crazy. They're probably going to attack this place again because it's undefended. But that's better for us than anything else. Alright. And now we're going to build our 3 light tanks right here. I love that medium factory we upgraded, and our 2 elite marines over here. So this is all over there. So I'm just going to do myself a favor and move this entire Navy in there along with, I'm just going to get a task force marker for later and just put it all in the card and say it's all in the ocean there. It'll make it so much neater. So yeah, this is there and this is there. Or I could just chip the stuff out too, that might help. But that's all together. These 3 planes have got the Japanese kind of nervous. All right, so $1 here. And then $2 there. So that's Japan up 3. Japan up 3 to 24. And the KMT down 3 from 7 to 4. All right, let's see what happens. Japanese turn is done. Japanese are going to collect their $24. And, oh, we didn't do that tech roll yet. Japan has been rolling for wartime economy. Once successful out of 4 so far. Let's see how many we get out of 5. 1 out of 5. Okay. Let's leave it there. July 38. British turn. Purchases. Tech roll. Advance these 2 units that are on the place units, or the build chart. Build 2 infantry. Far East Command. Build 2 infantry. I was going to build an infantry with the Australians, but we're just going to save that money. Because we might be able to build some destroyers or maybe some subs and start causing some disruptions on this side. They don't really need too much in here. So, non-combat moves. I don't have any combat moves for Australia. I don't think I have combat for anybody. So we're just going to leave it at that. These guys are going to move 2, 1, 2, and they're going to drop this stuff off in Malay because they can. And leave that transport sitting right there. All right. Far East Command. Oops. Crank it up a little bit. There we go. It's a little tighter. Far East Command is not going to move this dude. That dude over there is going to just leave sit. I don't have a reason to move this stuff, so I'm just going to leave this stuff sitting. Actually, I believe the Burma Road might open this turn. I'm not going to bother sending any Lend-Lease to the Chinese at this point in time. I can't even rail move a guy across because there's no rail that connects. I could build a rail, but that's $4, so that's kind of expensive. This transport over here has got nothing to do, but there's a transport over here. There's 4 infantry just sitting here doing nothing. So what we're going to do is we're going to split that into 2 stacks of 2. And we're just going to scoop 2 of these guys up from this base on this transport. Right? And they're going to go 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can still see that. And we're going to drop them off in Aden. And we're going to bring this light carrier along with us. That way everything's all clustered together as a nice juicy target for the German subs. Or that ridiculous Russian Navy over there. Anyway, so that's that. Australia's got nothing to place. These guys are just going to place, well, it would have been 2 white chips, but we got a white chip underneath already, so we're just going to throw a greenie down there. So they now have 9 infantry. I think they're about done on infantry building. Take a look at Britain, see if they're going to move any of their own stuff besides those 2 guys there. This for right now, we're just going to leave that alone. Alright, what do we see over here? Escort duty. And that's that. That should be good. Let's move this submarine in with them. It's not doing any good over there. Alright, let's take a peek up here. The British don't really have too much going on up here, but I said I was going to put some of those planes on Combat Air Patrol. Let me just grab a couple of Combat Air Patrol tabs here. If I have any more left. Got a bunch of submerged ones, but those aren't going to really help me. These seaplanes are kind of having me use my Combat Air Patrols up. I'm using way more than I normally use. There we go. So we're going to put Combat Air Patrol here and here. So from here, 1, 2. And from here, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Let's conglomerate this Navy here. Let's put it all together here. There you go. They're all there. All right. And that's the British turn. Really, we're going to place those 2 infantry. I don't see a major naval threat over here, so I'm not too worried about this. I'm more concerned about possible Japanese or Italian or, well, maybe German, but I'm not too concerned about a land assault here yet. So I'm not going to... Germany hasn't been building any transports. They got 1 transport with 2 Marines on it, but I'm fairly certain that with what's here and combined with the Navy, we should be able to eliminate that no problem. This 1 transport's going to come join this crew over here too. That way we can use these battleships on a amphibious assault should that be required, or possibly reinforce some British dudes onto France. All right, now it's time for the Netherlands. They only have $2. They're not going to burn their $2. They're just going to save it. It's a long way to that little blob of orange over there. However, there's no real aggression going on this side. I think the Netherlands is more concerned with what might be going on in its colonies. So let's start moving some units there. I'm not sure what's the fastest way, whether you go through the Med or you go through Panama Canal. But from here, you're going 1, 2, 3, and we can get to 4. Or we could do 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's going to take 5 turns to get over there. 2, 3. And it'll take 3 more turns to get through the Med. So we're going through the Med, I think. Otherwise, I change my angle over here. All right, so that's the Dutch. And I believe they have $2. So they're going to collect their $2. Or they have $2. And they could buy a militia, but militias are pretty much useless. So this stuff's all spent. These guys are placed. These guys are not placed yet, but I'm going to just put them in South Africa. So it's just 4 infantry down there again. And this is actually right over here. We're just going to move these guys over. And I changed the angle of this so that you can actually read this when I show it on the camera instead of having it reversed. So that this was stage 4 and that was place units. Standing off the table, it makes sense. From camera side on this table, it does not. All right, so there you are. That is the British and the Dutch's turn. The Dutch are now collecting their $3. Australia is collecting 4. Buck off. They got 8 for next turn. They can build a destroyer or a transport or something. All right, those have been moved forward. All right. Far East Command collects 6, and the British themselves collect 15. Nobody's at full income yet because there's been no reason to increase their income. The one-time attack on China has already, bonus has already taken effect, so there it be. So that's a look at life as the British on this map. All right, I'll leave you there, and we'll see what happens. No, I did a tech roll, but I didn't roll it. Let's roll you a tech roll for the British. Let's try to get improved shipyards. An 8. Sweet. The British only needed a 7. Yeah. I'm just going to leave that off the map there. All right, so there we go. No change. See what happens next turn. China and US. July 38. France. All right. 1 tech roll, 1 infantry for 5, saving $2. That's their build. Non-combat moves. The French are going to take 1 transport and bring this dude here and drop him off there. All right. I'm not really doing anything up there. Here, let's move this a little closer so you can see better. We've got 5 infantry, a mountain, 2 militia, 2 of these. We got 5 infantry and an artillery up there. We've got 4 infantry and a fighter and a medium bomber and a capital. It's really all we got. And then this 1 infantry we just dropped down there. They got lots of navy though. So I think what I'm going to start doing with this French navy, since it's just sitting around doing nothing, if I was the French, I'd start moving it around and putting it on escort duty. Crazy talk, I know. So, we're going to non-combat move the subs all together and torpedo boat destroyer. This can go 3, so 1, 2, 3. Let's put that on escort duty. Man, I don't have any chips on this side. Might run out of escort duty chips. I bought 10. I still have 4 left. It's not horrible. So, escort duty. We're going to put a ship on escort duty here. We're going to put a ship on escort duty there. Let's put a cruiser right there. And we'll throw a destroyer on escort over here. And man, I'm running out of chips. So no, I got 1 more. This destroyer can go 1, 2, 3. Let's put a destroyer on escort duty up. No. Yeah, right there. There we go. Just kind of move that French Navy around. And we'll put the transport and the sub up there too. Why not? Just so that they're together. Doesn't really matter. All right. Yeah. There we go. Let's see what transpires here. It's the French turn. They're gonna build their 1 infantry. Now all I'm gonna do is place a chip in the capital. So we already got 3 there. So we're gonna put 1 white one and swap the 3 for a green. All right. That is the French turn, except for their tech roll. Yeah, I've been showing all the tech rolls. Might as well show 1 more. All right. French. They're going for wartime economy. 7 or higher. Fail. All right. Well, guess what? Now it's the Italian turn. The Italians are buying a tech roll. And since I'm here, we're just going to roll the Italian tech now. And the Italians are also rolling for wartime economy, 7 or higher. Ooh, close, but no, 6. All right. So let's show the Italian build. I could have just stopped here, but why? Okay, let's get this out of the way. That's spent. I'll collect both the Italians and the French after the turn's over. The Italians are also buying a transport and saving $1 along with that tech roll we already rolled. So they don't really have any non-combat moves that they need to do. Not really. They're going to throw coastal sub here, coastal sub there. And Italians don't really want to leave the Med. Let's throw a coastal sub up in there just to disrupt things. And a real sub. Yeah, let's throw a real sub in there too. Yeah, we'll leave this guy behind. And there's no real rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just trying to make sure that I can use the subs as blockers if need be. Alright. But someone would could move through the subs and then declare war on me. Alright, so we placed that the transport in here. Now the Italians have the ability to move 4 units at a time. That's a nice change instead of just none like they started. It took a lot of turns of saving. So the Italians have $1 they're saving and they're collecting 7. So they now have 8 and their turn is over. And the French are collecting their 6, but they saved 2, so they now have 8 as well. There we go. That's the Italians and the French. Now, for real, we'll actually see the Americans in the 38. American turn. Turn 5. Save $1. Move 2 ships forward. Carrier and a cruiser, both at 4. And build 1 elite marine along with a tech roll. So $15 cost. Save $1. So we're going to just move that $1 out of the way. I'm just going to place this unit directly, do the tech roll, and move those 2 guys for you and show it for you. And the Americans are going to collect $9. So I'm just going to give them a 10 and take the 1 back. All right. And it's going to be really quick and easy for the Americans anyway. We're going to wander over here. And they are going to move this forward and this forward. Stage 2. $4 and $4. And roll a tech roll. Americans have been rolling for heavy bombers this whole time. We got it once. Let's see if they can get it twice. Heavy bombers. 5th try. 9 or higher. Sweet. They actually got that for a change. And while we're here, we're going to place their elite marine underneath, making that 4. Since they only make 2 a turn. And they're probably going to be more handy on the Pacific side, island hopping, than they are on the other side. So, there we go. Another tech on the board. Sweet. And now the Chinese turn. China. Let's get that glare out of the way. They have $7. They're going to build Burma Roads open so they can build artillery and anti-aircraft guns. So 1 infantry and an artillery, and they don't need a factory for it. So let's see what the heck kind of mess we can make in China. China's a big mess already. Let's move that back a little bit. All right. Well, we lost this island, and there's no way of taking it back unless somebody lend-leases them a transport that's going to die the same turn with all this red navy. Don't really have a chance on that city with these guys. Can't attack anything from here. Can attack from here to either here or there. That stack, I'd probably just lose all my units, so I'm not even going to bother. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to take one of these infantry off the stack here. And we're just going to place it here. Instant dollar. I know I didn't want to do that with the Japanese, but anything else I did was going to make it worse. And these guys are truce with them, so that's cool. Now these mountain troops and whatnot, they probably don't want to stay up there. They're kind of useless. So I'm going to expect that they are going to be, they can move into this location here. So let's just change that to a green. So that was a combat move. Now we're doing non-combat moves. Those infantry into here, along with this mountain. This is all together. This is by itself. There we go. And we're going to place units as well, that artillery and an extra infantry down here in Yunnan. Whew. Things are looking strange in China. Alright, so they spent 7. They now went up, they were at 4. They collected an extra $1 because they moved up to 5. So China's got $5 in the bank. And I'm going to do those income moves. And then we're done. So for $1 down and $1 up to 5. Done. End of the turn.